I just came from a room where I talked about something that I haven't actually platformed before. For context, I am a pretty private person, but over the years, just based on life's complexities and evolving, I've really become comfortable just kind of reflecting on where I am and what I'm learning and what I need to change and rethink. So as you've seen from the title or caption in this video, it's about reflecting on celibacy, right? So I'm in a season of single, sober, celibate. Surprise, surprise to all of those who are sliding Ben 10s, DMs my way. My last video had nothing to do with my personal life. It's really odd to me how people quickly, I guess, frame a narrative based on content that others do. Yes, I understand that a lot of the time, people who put out social commentary or content and content creators talk a lot about their individual lives and journeys, but sometimes we're just reflecting on things that have absolutely nothing to do with us, but that are of interest to us and I guess the larger public. And if some of you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a video I did based on a quote that said you can meet a 45-year-old boy and a 23-year-old man. And it's still eliciting conversation. And for some reason, a lot of people thought it had something to do with me having a younger lover, maybe someday. My point is, you can be different things and they may not even make sense, right? So for example, I can talk about being single, sober, and celibate. It is not, I repeat, it is not a flex. There's so much that I had to pause to really fully hear myself before I can make pretty big life decisions. Now that means whatever it is that I've paused right now, I could unpause tomorrow, I could unpause next year, I could unpause in 5 years, I could unpause in 3 months, right? I'm not really trying to give myself a limit with regards to these decisions I've made. I just feel that it's important. And celibacy has been, let me not talk about the duration. My point is that I was just at a panel session with Unmothering the Woman and Mezayetu. Unmothering the Woman, if you haven't followed it, please follow this platform. It's so authentically and organically put together. Founded by Amina Jasho, who I've known for a few years, and the panel I was on just kind of stripped so much that I suppose I haven't been able to release myself from, especially publicly, and it just felt like I exhaled. It had Jerry Mbugua, who is the founder of Usikimye, one of, I believe, the region's most influential organizations to do with pushing back and ending gender-based violence. Joanne Minor, who I met, who is a sex-positive content creator, speaker, myself as a media person, social issues commentator, global speaker, moderator, founder of Inua Dada Foundation, which deals with reproductive health and rights, mother, all of those things. Also somebody who is an activist and fighting to end societal injustices like violence against people, human rights violations, femicide. Also somebody who is navigating her journey in faith, and also somebody who can share space with people who don't think like me or look like me or platform like me, and that's okay. And I get that it can be, maybe I don't get that it can, let me just say, I know it can be strange for people who cannot hold all of these multiple truths together, because the narrative is always that we live life in extremes. And if you platform a certain subject matter, you're known only for that subject matter. And people might either think that's who you are and that's all you are. But we are not only one thing. We are many things. If I can speak for myself, I'm many things because of the many experiences life has thrown at me. And coming out of these experiences or navigating these experiences means that I am now multifaceted, and I do not allow myself to be boxed in. When I'm evolving, when I'm healing, when I'm navigating, I can be in rooms where I would previously have been uncomfortable. Maybe there are rooms that still make me uncomfortable, but they are necessary rooms to be in, number one. Number two, I could actually hold space with people who have different beliefs than mine. That's okay. I could also be a mother, a dog mom, and a mom to my beautiful boys. I can also be a founder and director of a foundation and a media company, and a public speaker who does work on a national, regional, and global level. And I can also have conversations about diverse and complex emotions and thoughts that people talk about a lot. How you receive this is on you. If you want to receive this in a way that boxes me in again or boxes other people in again, that's honestly on you. But I'd also say broaden your horizons and do the self-work. Because if you take from a single video or from a single post, not just mine, but different people's, that's who they are and that's all they are, then you've allowed yourself to be limited to just what you see. We must know by now that what you see online is just a fraction of what people deal with, go through, and how they live. We know that now. Some people curate their timelines so aesthetically, and that's fine, that's their brand. They also are paying bills and parenting and maybe going through some heavy stuff, but they don't bring that online. I'm not afraid to have conversations or spark conversations that people are having every day. Whether or not you'll be pressed about it or not, you'll still have a conversation about it. And guess what? I also learn a lot from you guys. You guys actually, the comments that you leave on my post are always so insightful and enlightening, whether it's around women's rights, whether it's about protests, whether it's about relationships, whether it's about maturity, whether it's about whatever it is. I feel like I love the community I have because I feel like we learn from each other. And I'll continue to do that. I will continue to learn and then share, and then learn and then share. Sometimes I'll have to unlearn and relearn, and then also have to self-check or also check someone. That's okay. Let's not be so pressed about things unless it's the state of the country and the economy. I believe we all need to be pressed about that one. Let us be pressed about those issues. When it comes to unpacking the complexities of relationships, if you're taking it so personally, then maybe it's just a season you're in, or maybe you're projecting, or maybe you're defensive. That's cool. It doesn't mean that you have the truth. It doesn't mean that it is the truth. It could be your truth, and which is also fine. I like that I've spent 7 minutes talking about, I just planted the seed of single, sober, celibate. I'll try and wind up by saying this. Sometimes you make certain decisions in life to self-preserve. It's not because it's fun. It's not because it's, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, a flex. It's not because it's a popular thing to do. It's because it's a necessary part of navigating a very personal, complex journey while still living. I have been single, sober, and celibate. Let's say the combination of all, I can safely say for over a year. And I said it for the first time publicly in this room because it's a room that was such a brave and safe space to talk about issues like shame. I think things like sexual, reproductive coercion, reproductive health coercion, different forms of violence that we never really quite reflect on. And I'm sorry if I've said the coercive bit wrongly, but there is a lot of coercion into, it's a broad, huge topic, and I want you to read into it. People feeling compromised to say that they need to either have a child or make a choice that they didn't feel they had any other permission to make any other choice. And this room was just such a plethora of wisdom and courage and safety, and really understanding and validating the fact that the human experience is very complex. But we in that room can speak to the woman's experience in a world where we're continuing to face backlash over the choices that we make, over our bodies, over our ability to earn a living, over how we platform certain issues. There's a lot of pushback on the agency of young people, but especially on young women and really women from different generations. That's not a myth, it's a fact. And so when I agreed to do the panel, I knew that I would have to talk about the fact that sex and pleasure, which also was a large part of this conversation, which I'm also a proponent of, you know, safe and consensual sex is a beautiful thing. And I can say that even as somebody who's navigating my faith, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because we hold so many truths to the lives that we are living. And so I remember being asked to do this panel, and I wasn't 100% sure, and I told Amina, but I'm not having sex at the moment. She's like, okay, come and talk about that. And so the fact that I also put it out there already in the room, I was like, you know what, I want to reflect on it online without making it sound like it's coming from a place of self-righteousness. I will tell you free, it is not. It's coming from a necessary place of navigating a healing journey. And as I mentioned in the beginning, there's no knowing when I will go back to doing those things. I don't know. I'm just giving myself permission to sit in it right now, and to also hold space for anybody who is navigating either sobriety or celibacy or being single, and also shouting out those who are enjoying a very beautiful sex life and a very beautiful love life and relationship, and those who enjoy a drink, and those who enjoy all these things which I have purposefully denied myself for the season of life that I'm in, until I navigate certain things. And I feel like it's given me so much peace and perspective. It's been a gift, but it's also been very hard, because we live in a hypersexualized world where if you are choosing to be celibate, there's something wrong with you. Nobody wants you. We all know in this day and age, you can get yours if you want to, like this. You can. It's a choice. It's a very personal choice. And I also recognize what a privilege it is to have a choice to be celibate, because a lot of that is taken away from a lot of people. So I recognize that this is also from a point of privilege. The choice to be in a relationship, the choice to not be in a relationship, the choice to be able to live life a certain way is such a privilege, especially for women on the continent. I do not want to deny that, and I want to encourage anybody who feels like they have had to choose this same kind of space, just to be able to pause and hit pause and think and pour back into themselves before they can choose what to pour back out into the world. So I just felt like I wanted to share that, because that room, oh man, thank you so much, Amina and Mezayetu and the Unmothering the Women team. This video was not, I was supposed to put up a different video today, but this is what I'm choosing to put up, because I literally filmed it yesterday by the time it's going up, which should be Sunday the 24th of November. We're going into the 16 days of activism. I've really learned a lot today. We're going into the 16 days of activism beginning tomorrow, Monday 25th, and there's a media roundtable that I'll be moderating in collaboration with JHR, in collaboration with Usikime. It's going to be heavy, but such a necessary space where we will hold space for the survivors, for the victims of femicide, their families, to talk about what they're navigating, but to also hold the media accountable in terms of how they often perpetuate victim shaming when it comes to a lot of these issues. And we should be able to publish that soon. It's going to be a heavy month for a lot of advocates and speakers in this space. Please pour back into yourself, even when the space gets heavy. And for you who's on the other side, who's in different spaces where you maybe don't interact a lot with these conversations, plug in when and where you can, because it's necessary to be aware of the world around you, even though it may not fit your narrative, even though it might make you uncomfortable. It's still a truth that is happening outside of your windows, outside of your doors, outside of your comfort zone. You can hold those parallels where you live your life and thrive and spend time with your family, friends, colleagues, and have a beautiful life, travel and, eat in nice places, while also recognizing that our country does need a continued push for justice, that there are so many lives compromised, that there's a lack of safety around the lives of people who want to protest for the country, and women and girls as well. These are the parallels that I'm saying. We need to reframe the narrative that we can only be one thing, that I can only be a certain speaker in a certain space with certain people. No, I have made peace with the fact that I can be many things as long as I hold true to my journey to really get me to the other side, as long as I am being true to myself and not hurting anyone, but really pouring into myself and being gentle with myself. Those are the reasons I've chosen to be single, sober, celibate for now. I don't know till when. Could be any time. Okay. It is Saturday afternoon. I need to do a clinic run and then spend some time with the boys. I just really want to hang out with them today. Thank you so much for being part of my community. I can't thank you enough. It's official with Janet Mbugua. Let us keep the conversation going, and let's keep having conversations with each other.